Well, Tim Pawlenty's campaign put out word yesterday that they're adding a stop to his New Hampshire schedule today. Ready for this? It's a visit to a Manchester healthcare provider. And perhaps the best answer to this question? Take a listen.
So you're taking the gloves off a bit when it comes to Mitt Romney?
It's obvious, and President Obama said in his own words that he patterned Obamacare after the health care plan in Massachusetts and merged those two things together to form Obamacare, or as I called it, Obamacare.
Is that going to be a line we'll hear a lot?
I don't know.
I don't know. 4 years ago, Mitt Romney accused other Republicans of ganging up on him in the first New Hampshire primary debate. How much will he be under attack tonight? Charlie Cook is editor of the Cook Political Report and a political analyst for National Journal. Stuart Rothenberg is editor of the Rothenberg Political Report and a columnist for Roll Call. Liz Sidoti is the political editor for the Associated Press. Liz Sidoti, Tim Pawlenty said Obamacare, debuted it yesterday in a Fox News interview, and the campaign doubled down on it. It's clear he wants to try to set up at least all of our talk in the to be Pawlenty versus Romney. He did a pretty good job of it yesterday.
Yeah, he did. And, you know, he doesn't have much choice. I mean, this is a guy who has been out on the road kind of for the last 2 years, really plugging away at trying to raise his name recognition. And he wants to argue that, you know, he's on a higher plane than these other folks who are going to be standing on stage. And so, you know, he needs to do something in order to become known. And he's looking at this and seeing his poll numbers in the low single digits and saying, you know, the way to do this is to go after and attack Romney and try to argue that he's tough enough to take on the front runner, which in turn leads him to argue, I'm tough enough to take on the president.
That he's here. Charlie Cook, I want you to listen to what Tim Pawlenty, another thing he said yesterday that seemed like another line of attack he wants to use against Mitt Romney. Take a listen.
Governor Romney, sort of the front runner here. You guys are sort of cut from the same cloth in a certain way. How do you distinguish yourself from him? Former governor, moderate Republican, you got to obviously distinguish yourself in some way.
Well, that cloth that he's cut from is a little different, I suppose. But
you know, in another part of this, he was talking about this idea of authenticity, and he used the word. He clearly is trying to stand out tonight before this because I get the sense he's worried about another Minnesota politician standing out tonight in case he doesn't.
See, I think that they're brackets, and that there's an establishment mainstream bracket. And in that one, you've got Pawlenty and Romney. Romney's clearly the top guy there, and Pawlenty needs to gain ground on him. I think Bachmann occupies a completely different space. It's more the Tea Party, social, cultural, religious conservative. You know, she's basically showing I'm the real deal. Sarah Palin's just a pale comparison, that sort of thing. So I don't think they're on the same track at all. I think his bullseye is on Mitt Romney's head.
Well, but there's a possibility if only one person stands out tonight, and it's not Tim Pawlenty. That's a problem for Tim Pawlenty, is it not?
Oh, I think absolutely. Look, Bachmann, Pawlenty, the same state. They're both going to appeal to conservatives in Iowa. Iowa's crucial to both of them. But I think what you're seeing with this authenticity is it's an effort by Pawlenty to fill the vacuum left by Mitch Daniels to some extent. The straight talker, the guy who'll tell you the truth, tell you what you need to know, even if you don't want to hear it. That's a nice position to have in this contest.
This debate, while it's the first one that Newt Gingrich is going to be in, the first one Michelle Bachmann's going to be in, the first one Mitt Romney's going to be in, there's 2, perhaps 3 candidates that may run that are not in this debate. Here's what Rick Perry said last night that tells you the guy is looking to be in that other bracket that you were talking about, Charlie. Take a listen.
Within the first week in office, President Obama, he chose to overturn the Mexico City policy, which basically means that your federal tax dollars can now be used to fund abortion all over the world. With the stroke of a pen, abortion essentially became a U.S. foreign export.
Liz Sidoti, Rick Perry, you heard Charlie's brackets, and I tend to agree the way he sort of, Rick Perry is a guy who on one hand wants to thinks he has a good economic story to tell about Texas, but boy, what's he choosing to emphasize? Social, there's this, and we know about what he's doing at Reliance Stadium, this sort of almost a national day of prayer that he's going to be the organizing governor. He's staking out the social conservative bracket.
Well, sure, because, you know, this is a major base of the Republican Party, and they're looking around right now and looking for a candidate to rally behind. And you know, Rick Perry's looking at this field and saying, if there's a lane to run in, this is the lane that I can occupy. And so I think you're going to hear more of that. Now, he has an issue here, which is the economy is the #1 issue.
Right.
So no matter what you do in the Republican primary, that you can cater to the right and the religious conservatives as much as you want, but it still comes down to the economy.
For Rick Perry, Charlie, is that the smart lane to go in first, to say, don't try to be the establishment guy because the Bushies hate you. Go this other route.
Yeah, I don't think he could be the establishment candidate if he wanted to. But the thing is, you could straddle. The thing about the Tea Party lane, to use Liz's term, and the social religious conservatives is you could kind of occupy both those lanes simultaneously. They're not mutually exclusive. The establishment lane, that's pretty exclusive lane. You can't really do that and one of the other as well.
Charlie, Stu, Liz, stay here. We're going to talk electoral map after the break. But first, our trivia. We asked, what city in the mainland United States is a large area that is unofficially known as Little San Juan? Well, there's a lot of answers to this, but I'll tell you the one I was looking for. Yeah. Orlando. In the 1990s, the Azalea Park area of southeast Orange County got the nickname Little San Juan. Now, a lot of you gave me Little San Juans from Massachusetts, a Little San Juan from New Jersey, a big neighborhood in Miami known as Little San Juan. I'm just telling you, I was looking for Orlando, and none of you got it. Panel is sticking with us after the break. You're watching the Daily Rundown only on MSNBC, and Stu is about ready to yell at me at the break. We'll talk about it after this. We'll be right back.